Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Prosperity and Health Alliance. You know the deal. It's August. You can see got a little sun. Hope you did too. My good buddy here, Creel Hutchinson, is joining us. He's got a little sun. Got some exciting things to talk about. It's August 15th, and first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. I mean, great to be here. It's sunny out. It's the summer. It's the middle of the year. Everybody's off doing the thing, but you're here, and that means something because it means that you're looking at Enagic as this is my future, this is where I'm going, this is the thing. And so we want to honor that in that tonight we're going to share with you a little bit about the rhythm and format of a business. And every business has a cycle. And if you talk to Eric Worre, he talks about these 90-day cycles that tend to emerge inside your business and network marketing. And my good buddy Creel Hutchinson, of course, is ready, soon to be 6A22. He's just almost there. It's going to push over the ledge, which is great. The team is rocking and rolling. They got back from convention. They were awesome. He's going to share with you some things tonight about talking about. And let me tell you this. You guys have got to listen up to this. And why that is there's nobody in the entire Enagic business that is better at laying out a game plan, tracking a game plan, and following it. And it's one of the great skills that Creel brings to the table, and it's an awesome skill. So if you're thinking, how do I do this, or what do I need to do, or what is this 90-day thing, kind of like I am, I'm kind of like that, guess what? Tonight's your night, because here is the 90-day plan, can't get that out, try that again. 90-day game plan for you. And let's face it, what do you want your Christmas to look like? What'd your Christmas look like last year? Was it good? Did you wish you had some more money? Did you wish you had to go somewhere? Do you want to buy some presents? Maybe you want to see Santa on a jet ski instead of in the middle of a snowstorm. I don't know. What's your why? It always comes back to the why, but then we're going to talk about the how. So, Creel, you want to go ahead? Thanks for joining us tonight. Really appreciate your work. Creel, how's it going?
Great. Thanks, Wade. Thanks for the introduction and all that positive commentary there. It's a pleasure to work with you. Just for everybody out there, Wade and I have really locked up the last 18 months and really focused a lot of time and energy into the PH Alliance and the training system. And we were on the phone today for 2 hours with a meeting. So, and we've come to realize that our business in Enagic and really life in general, it moves in cycles. And after, I've been in the business for 5.5 years, Wade's moving up to like 8 to 9 years, and we see that there are certain natural cycles. And to align my efforts and your efforts with these cycles really allows you to get the most amount of momentum and results riding the flow rather than trying to swim upstream. So we've kind of identified what that is for us and planned around it. And so we want to put a little game plan together for you guys, what the next the fourth quarter section looks like for 2016. So 90-day game plan. And Eric Worre's suggestion, which we're really big fans of all his stuff and training, 90 days of all-out massive action can create a business for a lifetime. Him doing research over the last 25 years in network marketing, he realizes the top earners, the 6- and 7-figure earners, a lot of them, it came down to a 3 to 4 month period of time in their business at the beginning that they really decided to make some sacrifices, put everything aside, and really focus on getting the activity happening. Now I tell people, let's create a list of 100 people. The rate at which you expose those 100 people on your list will determine how fast your business will grow. Some people will take 6 years to talk to those 100 people. Other people will take 6 months. Other people will take 60 days. When you condense the amount of exposures into a short period of window, it creates momentum, you get better at the skill, and energy gets created. The people who are saying yes, they feel that, they get caught up in it. So for anyone starting or wishing to restart or go to the next level in your business, realize 90 days is that period of time that is really required because, as you know, you plant some seeds and you can't be in the harvest season at the same time. So that period of time allows you to really go through the cycle. So your business and year has a rhythm to it. Ride the flow and create momentum. Right? Everybody works and everyone rests. The idea of starting a 90-day action game plan December 1st and going for 3 months doesn't make a lot of sense when most people in the Western world take about 2 to 3 weeks off or over Christmas time. So there are times of the year that the professional and business world works and rests. So our business also wants to be matched with that so that we can really maximize our results, right? Success loves speed. People who are moving fast, doing things attract attention. People who've got lots of time and everything's easygoing and, you know, I might get back to you and stuff, that's the type of people you attract into your business. So when you have the story and make the commitment, make a decision, really, and make some sacrifices for a period of time, you're going to get people that are willing to do the exact same thing, because the pace of your business will be determined by the leader. And so Wade, myself, Siha, we try to set the pace for our organizations and the 6As and 6A2s and all the ranks that are on here. You know, you are the leader for the people in your downline. And so work the way that you want to see them working. And entering into this next, you know, the fourth quarter, September 1st to really December 15th, you know, I've traditionally seen that is the window of opportunity to really go for it. There's Thanksgiving in both Canada and the United States. That throws it off a little bit. Then you got Christmas. So if you want to have a great Christmas, everybody, it starts right now in the pre-launch. So that's the overview of the 90-day game plan. And let's be realistic here. It's not possible to do all-out massive action insanity boot camp every 90 days, which would mean 4 times in a year. That's just not realistic. What is realistic is to pick one of those quarters and do it. And the other 3 quarters, you plan and allow anyone else in your business to be able to step forward and declare, hey, I'm going to do the all-out massive action, because we've structured the events, the training, the webinars, the rhythm of the business, all to support people when they're ready to go all-out massive action. If it's not your 90-day game plan, no problem. The events are still happening, so you can continue to grow your business and move forward within the momentum that's been created. So just wanted to kind of put that little note, because I think some people might think, hey, if I just can't keep up that pace. Once a year is all-out massive action. The rest of the time fall into a really solid 90-day game plan, and your business will continue to grow. Wade, do you want to throw anything in there while I move on to the next slide?
Yeah, and I would like to, I'm going to play devil's advocate with everybody out there, because let's ask yourself some questions. What happens if you don't do an all-out massive action? What happens if you let off the gas and decide not to expose 20, 30, 40, 50 people a month, or 100 people? You look at Romy Verdera, who has had he's got one of the biggest organizations in all of Enagic. He did all-out insanity in his first 90 days, and he said that 90 days he can trace back to making him millions and millions of dollars in 90 days. Is that worth it? Is it worth to say no to a few things in your life? And I'm not saying you have to be, you know, do as well as Romy Verdera, but you know what? You can do enough to get some momentum and say, hey, this is working for me. Romy did 500 total exposures. He estimated. If you look at his little book, he's got a little book like this, right? See this? We got notes. I'm a print guy, so is him. He did a demo at least a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, and sometimes 5. He just went and did as many demos as possible. When Siha took off in the business and got really, really powering it out, he did a demo every day. His model was, when he took off in his business, he said, a demo a day is a check a day. I know if I keep doing a demo a day, eventually I'm going to end up getting a check a day. And he run. And you know how long it took? It took about 90 days. Interesting enough. When I got started in this business, I decided that I would go, you know, when I went all out, I went all out after I was slow starter. I got things going and I started looking at the business and I wasn't sure. But when I came back from the World Championships, I went down and I went for it. And again, we're looking at somewhere for, if you're starting out, once a few hundred people, it's going to be somewhere between 250 and 500 people actually see a demo, live, digital, whatever, you'll be 6A. 500 people. So just put 500. And here's the best part. You'll go 6A, but you'll have momentum after. And what I did after that is I just switched into twice a week, having the group come to me, and then I went out on the road with the various people who are working the business. Just that simple. So what's the cost of not doing it? Back to you, Krill.
Well, the cost is everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything. So moving forward, so if you're serious about doing a 90-day game plan, I'm going to walk you through what Eric Worre's, which we're going to send out the link for his all-out massive action 90-day game plan, and also he's got a great one, how to recruit 20 people in 30 days, with really a step-by-step process. I would follow that, especially for new people getting started, people who are getting into the business right now. By December, you could replace the income that you're currently making if you were really to go at it after it. You know, in our business, that is a very realistic goal because of the great compensation program we have. So anyway, starting out with goals, what rank do you want to achieve at the end of the 90 days by December? You know, what goals do you have for your team? Do you want, how many people do you want to be 2As, 3As, 4As? You know, how much money do you want to earn? You know, is there a big bonus here? Is there something special that you want to get for Christmas that needs income in? You know, write that down. Goals will motivate the actions when stuff gets tough. Prestige, maybe it's not so much about the money, but it's like, hey, I want to get that new rank because I want to be seen as a leader in my organization. Or it's very interesting. We all have different whys of what motivates us. Figure out what it is. Be honest with yourself. Or set up a number. How many people do you feel like you need to recruit, customers and distributors, in order for you to achieve 6A2 or 6A, 6A2, 6A22, the next level, the next big rank? So that's first step, set the goals, and then you've got pre-launch. We are in pre-launch. This webinar is part of the pre-launch. It's happening right now, right? We promote in advance. So September 1st, Wade, I, the rest of the team, you know, we're declaring, hey, that's when we get into action, and we're going to show you the great events and the webinars and all the stuff that we're going to roll out in the fall time to support this. But right now is we're promoting it. We're getting people's mindsets on board. So talking to your members of your team and really getting everybody, you know, looking in the same direction and getting fired up. Enjoy the next couple weeks, but start talking to your people and start planting the seeds so that come September, there's already a little bit of movement in the tires. We're not starting from like stop, right? This is really important. Have a detailed description of what you're going to do and get with your inner circle. I talk to my key leaders and make sure that who's running and who's not. You know, I want to figure out who I'm going to pay attention to for 90 days. Not everybody can do it, and that's cool. Life pulls us in different directions, but I want to find out who's on board. If you're watching this webinar and you're part of the team, it's time to declare if you're going to do this, then you want to reach out to your upline and say, hey, I really want to put a game plan together for me for 90 days. You know, help me. You know, what events do we need to do? How many people I need to contact? We'll go through the planning phase, you know, the promotion phase, planting the seeds, and then eventually the harvesting phase. So to be in, you need to do this. It's one thing to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to totally work. It's another thing to actually make a game plan and do stuff. So if you're putting together this for yourself, really reach out to your team and get some commitments, right? Hold people accountable. Create expectations, right? And this is, you're going to work hard for the people who are working hard with you. It's really, really important. So this is the pre-launch mode in August as we move it forward. And then we're going to move into the launch September 1st, and pretty much 90 days will take us to the big event, which will be Eric Worre's Go Pro. But we pretty much have till about December 15th, and before the, you know, it's challenging to get much activity after that. So you've got 90 to 100 days to roll here. Big event ends it. Eric Worre's event for us. Lead people, keep the people focused. This is the glue of the push. Have a compelling goal. We will be promoting and reiterating that throughout the next 90 days, right? And there's going to be different ways to get involved at the GoPro, and we're going to complete that and talk about that a little bit. We've also got the weekly events, the home meetings, opportunity training, blitz days, weekly webinars. So there's going to be a bunch of activity that we're going to be promoting within the organization for you to be part of. So this is all launch. This is getting ourselves going. The all-out massive actions. This is what Eric Worre suggests. If you're doing this full-time, it's going to be 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. and I probably Wade's going to, say some really neat things about what's that worth to make that sacrifice for a 90-day game plan. Is it worth it to end up in Romy's shoes, in Cynthia's shoes? Hey, is it to end up in Siha's shoes? Part-time looks like 8 hours a week times 6 days, right? And yeah, you're going to make some sacrifices around it. It's worth it. Pretty much when I got started, it was a 90-day period of window that I was able to bring in some key business builders that are still with me and got me to 6A and beyond, right? Make your plan and build a compelling, awesome story. Because you're going to be approaching people with this level of enthusiasm, so you need to really nail a great story which is authentic and true for you, that builds excitement and invites people to like, oh wow, there's urgency about what Creel's up to. He's building a new team in the fourth quarter, and he's looking to work with a key 3 to 5 people. I want to be one of those people. That's the story that I would create and put out there, and just be like, hey, are you ready to really change your life? I'm working with some key people right now. So find that story for yourself. Wade, do you want to throw anything in here, add to this?
Well, let's use a real world example. Last night, the whole world paused because they were watching the 100-meter men's final, the fastest man on the planet. If there's one thing that I've seen with guys like Danny D. McCauley, with guys like Siha Top, with guys like Romy Verdera, is there's a sense of urgency because of the speed that they're creating around what they're doing. Siha, when he started out, I couldn't even tell what he was saying when he was like, can you have it down to the East Coast, I'm going to do it 8 weeks, like, what? And understand this, that if you're starting off slow, it's going to take time to build momentum. But you don't want to try and turn lead into gold. What typically happens with people, what hamstrings people, if they don't have this big vision, if they haven't set their goal, if they're getting somebody who kind of wants to maybe get started, but they're not there yet, or says that they're going to get started, and you stop and you spend all your time, as I say, trying to turn lead into gold. Because that person's not ready to make that commitment. And when you are at that commitment level, 2 things happen. Number 1, some people rise up, some people get out of the way, but you also, some people get attracted to that, and those people will really build your business. So build the speed up, double down on if you think you can do 1 presentation today, go for 1. If you can do 2, go for 2. Set a goal. If you have 1 presentation a day, well, you better make sure that you get 6, 7 presentations a week. So if you miss a day, you got to double down. Make yourself double down on yourself, and it'll change everything.
Awesome. Here we go. The 4th section of the 90-day all-out massive action is we want to have a big event. So Eric Worre suggests, it's like location, flyers, event page, Facebook, get your tickets out, promo, get everybody talking the same thing for 90 days. And so that there's a kind of a big celebratory event and also a bringing together, because we know a lot of people really appreciate the family and the relationship side of this. So getting people together really solidifies people being in the organization and also being in the industry of network marketing. So you want to plan a big event every 3 to 4 times a year, and 1 all-out massive action a year. Kind of already covered that. Here's what our game plan for the Prosperity and Health Alliance in the 4th quarter. We're going to be starting all-out massive action September 1st, and in Vancouver, September 11th, we're going to do a Turbo Super Sunday, which will be at noon to 5. Poster will be out in about 3 days with details. This is going to be limited seating. We've got a place that can hold 150 people, but we've got some special outside events which are limited to 100 people. I'll let Wade kind of go into that. So that's going to be how we're going to get started. And then we've got our PHA Mondays, the webinars, Blue Gold. This is going to be a business opportunity webinar that we're going to be hosting starting in September. The No Fail Diet, which is Wade's new webinar that he hosted a couple weeks ago, which was fantastic. It's going to continue. So there's lots of places to plug new and old people into the project, some exciting stuff, so that there's more events happening. And of course, weekly demos are going on everywhere. The automated training system that we've been working on, we're going to release a 2.0 version. So we're going to submit some of the webinars into it. Some people got it the first time when it all came out. Other people didn't. So September 12th, which is going to be a Monday, we're going to do a special webinar. And then we're going to release the new training system. And so you definitely want to be able to save that, get that on, because it's, honestly, this is the key to duplication. So building your team forward. So that's part of this 90-day game plan. In October 15th, there's going to be a Super Saturday in Bellevue, Washington, so for the Seattle, Pacific Northwest folks. So if you got some key people, you could take them to September 11th, you could take them to October 15th, and then you could take them to GoPro in December. So lots of places to choose. What's your plan going to be there? And the dates on the Hawaii 4th and 5th event is still coming out. It's not confirmed. Stay tuned for that. And then the big event at the end of this is going to be the December 1st to 4th. I think it's number 9 of Eric Worre GoPro. I've been to the last 2 events, which were fantastic, sold out at 8,000 people. This will be a bigger event. They're expecting about 12,000 people. So it's either getting live, which get a ticket and go, or watch the stream and creating the event right in your own hometown. Right? We're definitely going to have a Vancouver event happening. The stream has already been purchased, so there's going to be 2 activities, 2 options. Going to the live event is by far, 100 times more powerful than the stream. The stream is still effective, but the live event is what really moves people. So that's going to be at the end of it. And then just highlighting January 15th, we're going to do another turbo training in Vancouver, and to get everything started, another 90-day push, and then we'll have another larger event here in Vancouver, April 23rd, so that will be the next quarter. So working event to event is key in our business. So now you know what the next 90 days look like, but you also know what the next 6 to 7 months look like. So can you imagine if you got going right now with a team, you could then build that team through, there's 5 different events listed on this page. So there's lots of activity to get people trained, motivated, and moving. So it really comes down to you. Wade, do you want to throw in any tidbits on top of this?
Yeah, really great job, first of all, Krill. Excellent stuff. And again, this is a great time to get going in the business. Fall's a great thing. Kids go back to school. People want to get involved in the business for the tax savings before the end of the year, of course, the incentives are on that sort of thing. You also want to build some momentum coming into the Christmas holidays, put some extra dollars in your bank accounts so you can stuff some stockings, things like that. But more importantly, it all comes down to this. Number 1, you want to take down these, take a picture of it, whatever, put this on your calendars right now, and commit that you're going to go there. Commit that you're going to be at every one of these things, and commit that you're going to bring at least one person with you. At least one. If you can bring more, but bring at least one. Someone who hasn't seen this business, someone doesn't know it. Get them out to the events, because events change people's lives. Events create social proof. Event activates us in ways that you just, there's something about events that is really, really, really magic. And in this digital world, as much as I love it, I'm talking with some of the top digital marketers, and recently I just went on a series of events, and I can tell you all these guys, and we're talking about the Dan Martells, the Gary Vaynerchuks, the Keith Yags, all of the very top people in the internet marketing game. What are they doing? They're going to events. Even though they make millions of dollars online, they don't have to go anywhere. They can't wait to get out and get connected to people, press the flesh, see people, get connected, do things. There's something still very visceral about that. So it's important that you don't just sit home and hide behind your computer, or that you sit and hide behind. Get out. Get out there moving and shaking, and get some people out and introduce them to everybody you can at the events, because you never know what's going to be the trigger point to turn them on. The other thing is we're going to be putting out some information. It looks like we're going to have a pre-party before the event on September 11th. We're just getting confirmation, but I will say it is located at a very nice penthouse with a beautiful view of the city, and it's going to be for the first 100 people. And I've already got 10 tickets spoken for. So it's for the first 90 people. and Krill and Siha are going to take a bunch of those tickets too. And what the deal is going to be is you're going to go to the event, and if you go to the event, the training the next day is free. So it's going to be a really, really, really fun thing for Social Proof. So I'm not going to tell you any more about that. I'm just going to tell you, be ready and be ready to act fast and join us. And finally, I just want to say, before we go to questions, is what's your why? What's your why? If you don't have a why, you're done. You got to have a why, and I don't care what it is. It can be anything. It could be the dumbest goal. It could be the most noble goal. It could be whatever. As long as it makes sense to you, then that's all that matters. And it's gotta hit you emotionally. And so everybody's doing this business for a different reason. Find yours, and when you find yours, it's going to drive you through the hard days. It's going to help you through the challenging days. It's going to help you when someone doesn't show up, or things don't go right, or someone doesn't buy after you spent too much on them. You're going to say next, because my why's bigger than their no. My why's bigger than that person's non-commitment. My why is bigger than the disappointment that I might fail at this point, because all of those things are temporary if your why is big enough. So make your why big enough, and big enough for you. It doesn't have to be anybody else's. It's you. What does it mean to you? So with that, we're going to open up to questions. And by the way, just guys, here's another thing. I know sometimes people are scared to ask questions on here. I know it's like they're all there. I know there's questions out there. This is what we're here for. We created this for you. We want to talk to you. So if you have a question, let her rip. We did put the link to the 90-day event in the chat. Kim, let me know if we've seen that. I typed it in. I hope I got it right. But let's go to questions if we have any questions. Can't hear anything. My name's Greg, and my mom recently got into this. I was wondering, how useful is our game plan? We are planning on handling out brochures and offering people samples. Okay, so here's the thing, Greg. What you've got here is you've got part of the equation. We're planning on handing out samples and planning on handing out brochures and offering people samples. Okay. That's cool, and it's part of the thing, but what's your overriding strategy? That's not a strategy, that's a tactic. And there's a difference. A strategy is a complete game plan. Like, we're going to do this, we're going to expose 500 people, and we're going to get every one of those to either a live or digital demonstration, and we're going to go from those people and get them on a water trial, whoever likes this thing, and from there, we're going to close. And out of those, we're going to see who wants to be in the health and who wants to be in the business. That's a game plan, okay? So what I'm going to suggest is you get with your upline here and you turn this into a game plan, because if you're just handing out brochures and water, have you ever received a brochure? And I'm not here to bust you up. I'm just saying, have you ever gotten a brochure from somebody? Or gone to a thing, and like you come home and you got a bunch of brochures, or a sample of water, like a little cup of water. A little cup of water is not going to change anybody's life. What's going to change somebody's life is if they're drinking like 4 of these a day. That's going to change their life. So you got to communicate to people, this is the greatest thing ever. It's amazing. This water transforms people's lives, physically, financially, emotionally. It's amazing. What's the deal? Here's what you know. Here's what I discovered. You got to drink 4 of these a day. That's it. Drink 4 of these a day. How many? 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got to drink 4. How many? 4. 4 of these a day, as fresh as you can, change your life. How does it go? I don't know. You got to check it out. That's it. You want on the trial? That's it. You want to change your life? Here's how you do it. 4. Done. That's it. No, you don't want to change that? Buy. And people go, well, how do you make good money? Well, here's what I do. I get people to drink 4 of these a day. They end up buying this crazy machine of mine, and the company sends me checks. Does that sound like a good idea? Can you drink water? Then shut up. It's going to be hard. The brochure is an explanation, but don't let it be a cop-out. And there's a lot of people get into the tools and all that sort of stuff. And believe me, they're important and they can help you explain some of the stuff. 4 of these, 1 when you get up, 1 between breakfast and lunch, 1 between lunch and dinner, 1 before dinner before you go to bed. Change your life. I can put you on this for 10 days, 20, 15 days, whatever you want to do, 2 weeks. I'll take care of you for that, and afterwards I'm going to ask you to buy one of these machines. Our machines run from $1,500 to $6,000 bucks. Don't worry, there's a tax incentive program, there's a payment program, get you one of these real cheap. But the bottom line is, change your life. It's so damn great. That's it. Every time you go down the molecular hydration, ionized, restructured, blah, 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 water, there's 1 in 100 people that get it. I was one of those 1 in 100 people. I love that stuff. And you know what? People will go, ooh, can't hear you. So keep it simple, but keep it focused. 4, this is a liter bottle, by the way. It can be a quart if you're in the States. 4 quarts, 4 liters, 4 times a day. Do it for a couple weeks. You'll see the difference. Are you in or you out? That's it. So great question, by the way. And I love that you're taking on and want to do that. So I don't want to beat you up. I just get really, here's the thing. After 8 years, I've seen all the schemes. I've seen all the ideas. I've seen all the brochures. I've read all the books, seen all the videos, talked to all the people. And the bottom line is 4. That's the answer. 4. Drink 4 of these. Your life changes. Tell other people to do the same thing. You make money. Okay, here's another one. I'm gearing up for the Health and Wellness Show in November. They're expecting 10,000 people. To be very honest, I'm worried I might go home with too many email addresses and not be able to follow up quickly with everyone. Any advice?
Yeah, I've got some advice on that.
Yeah.
Having done 2 vending, you're going to drop it. You're basically rapid firing, catching people's attention, and you want to have a prepared pitch of just hitting the bullet points. What is this? Well, this is ding, ding, ding. And find out, hey, what are you drinking right now? Are you interested in your health? How serious are you interested in your health or wealth? And then you're going to be collecting a lot of names. And I would, from those questions, make a judgment of scorecard them, who you want to pay attention to. Because if you've got 300 people that are going to give you their name, if you don't scorecard them, then you don't know really where to prioritize the emails to go out first and the follow-up phone calls and text messages. So I would do a really simple, what I've done in the past is like a 1 to 5. 5 being, let's say, they're buying. 1 being, they basically signed this because they feel awkward socially and they're just giving me their contact and nothing's going to happen here. So I do not even look at the 1s and the 2s. I have focused on 3, 4, and 5, and I'll start calling from the 5s and the 4s backwards. So you really want to get clear on what that is. If you've got other people in your booth, make sure that everybody's on the same page when it comes to getting information. And you want to make sure like an iPad would be good because people could then type it in, or you could type it for them, because people will write down their emails and you can't get a hold of them. And I would suggest from there you want to have something that you can give out that's going to be really simple for you, that's going to advertise, an event that they could come to and learn more about, and some basic information, so that you've got a flyer with some local contact information and an event that can lead to, so you can be, after the event you're inviting all those contacts to something and following up that way. So that's some ideas. The scorecard is really crucial.
Absolutely. Good question. Here's another question. Andrew here. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? How do you get people over the cost of the machine? Even though they're interested, they said it's the cost of the machine that is the problem in the end. But this is a great question, and everybody runs into it, and a lot of people apologize for the price of the machine. I think they go, oh, I don't want to tell the price of the machine. And it's, there's a lot of different strategies, and basically it comes down to asking questions. You got to find out what's the real obstacle, because here's the thing. There's a lot of different ways to approach this. I come right out. I say, hey, we got machines that run from $1,500 up to $6,000. What we're going to do is we're going to find out which one's for you. We got to finance a program, get people into it for less than $100 a month, whatever. But that's not the issue. Let's get you to have the experience that I've had. 4 of these for the next week. And if you like what you see, we'll move forward. That's it. If you don't, that's it. Just get clear. And when you say this, you can also say, you know what, I couldn't believe it. When I first heard that these machines were running from $1,500 to $6,000, I near freaked out. Then I started drinking the water. I was like, oh my God. And I found out about the referral program. Amazing. I found out about the tax incentive program. Here's another one. Our machines don't cost anything. There's an initial cash outlay, whether you buy the whole machine, the one that's right for you, or you make a payment program. But the tax incentives alone from our business system allows to more than offset the machine. Plus, the company sends you a referral check for anybody that you tell about it. Isn't that amazing? Want to find out more? So turn it around. Oftentimes, I also find that people who are jacked about the business side of it, they're okay with paying $5,000 for a machine. So there's going to be 2 types of people. There's the users and the business builders. And the business builders, oftentimes it's easier to sell them the Anaspa, the Ukon, and the K8, which is almost $10,000. It's easier to sell them $10,000 than it is to sell them a $1,500 level Lakar. I mean, you want to add to that, Crow?
Yeah. Here's the best way to deal with an objection is to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so the absolute #1 objection that everybody in an adjunct gets is the price. So you want to just know that that's going to come. So what is your response? I do feel, felt, found. All right. Really simple to deal with most objections and say, hey, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way when I was introduced to this. In my mind, I was thinking there is no way I'm going to pay $4,000 for a water system. But what I found now owning one for X amount of time is that it's one of the best investments I ever made. And there was different financing options that were available that made that realistic for me because I didn't have $5,000. Would you be interested in knowing something about the financing options? You know, and then it's like you take them from like, do they have good credit, no credit? I take them through a series of questions, and you can lead them into the program financing from an adjunct. You know, it's $1,000 down, $225 over 16 months if you're doing SD 501 white. You know, we've got smaller units and stuff. And I keep kind of just having that conversation, and I realize the price is really not the objection. It looks like it is. What's really the objection is the mindset and the priorities that the person has. And not to belittle that, you know, some people will see this as expensive, and initially I did. But now I realize my mindset around income and the price of this machine has changed, and I see some people not have an issue with it at all. So I'm asking a person, you know, how serious are you about improving your health? And when people say, well, it's expensive, I'm like, I realize it appears like it's expensive, but what I found to be expensive is getting sick. You know, and so this is kind of the antidote to that, is to stay healthy, and we know this works. So there's a bunch of little responses that I use depending on the person and how good a rapport I am in them. If someone's complaining and they're like looking to make money, like they're telling me I want to make $100,000, but they have a problem spending $5,000, I honestly say to them, I'm like, well, you know, when's $5,000 not going to be a big issue for somebody that wants to make $100,000? So depending on your relationship and where it's at, you can have different things that you say. But since you know the price is always going to be the #1 objection, I get really clear on what those things are. Like, have your 2, 3, 4, 5 responses that you like to use, and try them out, because it's just not going to be this one person. It's going to be everybody, you know, or that's going to be the main objection that people will give you. So feel, felt, found. You know, find out how serious, how committed they are to their own health. And let's face it, a $1,500 machine for somebody that can totally afford it, they might not buy from you because really their priority is not their health, right? And it might not be the business. So you're looking at someone who is a no. when you can determine that it's actually a no, then I would just let it go too and move forward.
Yeah, and you can check out some of the you can go to Zig Ziglar's Secrets of Closing the Sale is a great book. When it talks about handling objections, you can go to Jordan Belfort's, Grant Cardone, Tim Sales. There's a lot of different people out there. I would suggest that you insert yourself into some sort of selling system where you start to learn these. And as those objections come up, you'll get better and better at handling them. And of course, the feel, felt, found is probably one of the easiest ones to learn. And I think that's a great way to start and to go from there. And the bottom line is Creel's right. You're going to get some no's, and it's how to go with that. Here's the thing, right? When your why's big enough, it doesn't matter if they say no, because you're going on anyway. And when you first start out, I think a lot of people are really invested in someone saying yes, and or that person is going to be the person that builds your business. They're not. It's going to be you that builds your business. And eventually, the no's become entertaining. It's kind of fun. It becomes exciting. It becomes the challenge. Oh, here comes the no. Okay, here we go. I don't have enough money. I can't get financing. My wife said I can't do it. If you go through the handling rejections on the Jordan Belfort videos, it's awesome because he's like, here comes the no's, and he's excited about it. And he has a process he calls looping. Remember this. You got to get past 5 no's for them to make a sale. The 6th one is where most of the sales are. So when they say no, you say, well, great, but let me. I totally hear what you're saying, but let me say this. And then you hit them with another benefit of the machine, and they come back and you're like, I hear what you're saying. You do that a couple times, and they go, got it. And then that 3rd or 4th time, that's when you're going to be in the magic zone. So recognize that when you get the no, now the sale begins. Now it's on. Because they're telling you the objection, and the real objection is, like Chris said, it's 2 or 3 people back. So with that,
wait, I'll just add on top of that, because when I got involved with this and I decided I was going to do this and make this a career path, I took it upon myself to actually listen to what people were telling me to listen to. And I encourage everybody out there is just like, listen to Eric Worre, listen to Grant Cardone, find these sales training programs that your upline in the PH Alliance have access to. So find out if you need to want to listen to them. Reach out to us. We'll get you copies of that. I just got in the car. I called it my university for a couple of years. I still listen to great stuff all the time, and I absorb this information because I realized I want to feel in control and empowered when I'm helping someone move through these objections. And I wanted to turn from feeling frustrated and down to feeling empowered and helpful. And you can either do that through a lot of personal experience, like the sets and reps, or you can go get a coach and do the sets and reps. It's going to be much faster. And the coaching, we have great audios out there from all these people. So, if you want to get better, listen to that stuff and then go practice. Absolutely. Back to you, Wade.
Yeah, and to close on that, I think some things that I do automatically that I don't really think about, but they're actually very, very important, and that is I get myself into a positive state, and I'm always learning. Every single day I'm listening to a podcast, sometimes 2 or 3. Now, I listen to them on 1.5 speed so I can speed up the information going into my head, and I keep reminding myself, and I go to the webinars and I listen to these people, and oftentimes I've heard the story before, but I need to hear the story over and over. Why does CNN put the stories over and over and over and over again? So they stick. So it's the same thing for you. By doing this every day and reintegrating this becomes part of your belief system, your operational system. And then you automatically, at some point, you just find yourself saying the words that you're supposed to be saying at the way you're supposed to. You have the answer, and it just kind of happens automatically. But I'll say this too. You can never say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. Always, always remember that. So I think with that, we're going to wrap up the session. The questions are over. I really appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Again, get geared up, get your game plan in. If you have some, you're on one of the teams with myself or Creel or Siha or whatever it happens to be, your closest 6A2, you want to plug in and put your game plan together and really go for it. You know what? There's going to be some people on this call that are going to have an amazing fall.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's going to be the people in this fall that is going to make more money in this quarter than they've made maybe in the last year or maybe even in their life. There are going to be some people here on this call that are going to have somebody come up with them with tears in their eyes, giving them a hug and said, you changed my life, you saved my life, that sort of stuff.
And you know what, Wade, on top of that, there's going to be someone on this call that is going to attract one of the new leaders into our organization who will light it up on fire.
Yep.
And we just don't know who that is. But it's going to be the people that are going to be working it.
Yeah, so there's someone out there tonight looking for this. There's someone out there tonight praying for this. There's someone out there looking for an answer. Go find them. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody. Have an awesome week. We'll catch you next week.